So finally Rick is here, so I couldn't wait. I'm okay now, it's a bit flustered, whatever. I'm good now. No, I was totally panicking.
I was just really freaked you out.
So, hi, welcome to Zimbabwe.
Thank you.
Or should I be saying that? I don't know.
Well, it's so good to be here. You know, I lived here till I was 16, and it's really cool to be back. Now I'm 34, so in Chibutu. Yeah.
So,
and yeah, coming to Harare was a real treat for us. So it's good to be in Harare.
Wow. So you are a Zimbabwean Australian actor.
Yeah.
You were born here in Zimbabwe, Chibutu specifically. So tell us about that in your childhood in general.
Well, I always knew I wanted to act. I lived in Chibutu. I went to high school in Marandera, but you know, I was also, I think, needing to really believe in myself. I was a very awkward teenager, and I was quite shy in certain circumstances. I really was, and quite unsure of myself. And so it took me a long time to really get a handle on how to be a good actor, and I think doing it over and over again, you know, as they say, you need 10,000 hours to be a master at something, and it took me went to drama school when I was 18, took me a good 10 years after drama school to really, you know, start getting a little bit good and start booking TV shows, you know, in America. Yeah.
So when was this, when you went to drama school?
I went to drama school in Australia when I was 18. I spent 6 years in Sydney, doing a lot of theatre, a lot of kids shows, little parts on film and TV, random jobs, and then I moved to Los Angeles, did a lot of classes, accent lessons, you name it, which I still have to do a lot of.
So, so what accent do you speak?
What accent do I speak? Well, I speak American.
Okay.
It's been standard American is what I've had to learn the most, and what my accent has been on the TV shows I've been on in the States. But it takes a lot to make it really authentic, and I just have a really strange mix of an accent now. I think when I'm talking to Zimbabweans, I have a more Zimbabwean accent, and when I'm Australian, I'm like Australian. All of a sudden, I'm just like, I think I'm just a bit like weird like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I was that person at school who, my friend was saying to me, he went to school in Buffalo, New York. He was like, we had this one girl at school who she had an English accent, but she'd never been to Britain in her life. You know what I mean? I was that girl at school.
Oh, you were that. So you had a British accent.
I was just a bit like, you know, I was trying to be from like everywhere else. Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing.
I don't know who my authentic self is anymore.
Aww. So you have acted in Vampire Diaries, The Flash, Quantico.
Yeah.
Confirm?
Yes.
So how did you start this career in acting, and how did you land these specific roles?
Well, it was actually, you know, just a coincidence, really. I was auditioning for everything I could in Hollywood. I ended up getting a really great manager. I remember I auditioned for The Hobbit, I auditioned for all these big films and TV shows, and I nearly got a part on Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, the originals. I got down to the last two for quite a lot of roles.
Days of Our Lives?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it was actually kind of lucky that I got the Vampire Diaries when I did, but it was sort of turning into just a matter of time, because thank goodness I was getting so many auditions at the time, and I was starting to get very close to a lot of the roles. And so, yeah, I landed that one, which is a big one to land, but they only gave me one episode, and they said, we'll see how he does, you know, we'll see how he goes, maybe 6 more, and I lasted for 12. So I was really happy that I only died at the end of 12 episodes and not sooner.
You only died. So you played Wes Maxfield in Vampire Diaries?
Yeah.
And was that the time
Dr. Wes Maxfield.
Dr. Wes Maxfield. Was it the time when you were at the Armory, or when was that? You were at the Armory. Remember the Armory?
No.
Yeah, when was that? Was it before?
Yeah, season 5, when the girls went to college. They went to Whitmore College, and I was their professor.
Yes.
They were in the wrong class. I wasn't actually their professor. And then they were like, there's something weird about that Dr. Wes.
I remember. No, I'm a fan. I know these things.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's okay. But yeah, and then I started like experimenting on them, and I tried to eradicate all the vampires. But they killed me before I could kill them. Yeah, I got my guts ripped out by Damon Salvatore.
Oh, okay, then you'd had to be Damon. So how was the experience being on Vampire Diaries and meeting all these people, Stephen, Damon, Elena,
it was crazy. I mean, I remember Ian Somerhalder from this one movie that we used to watch a lot in Australia. I think it was called, it was with Faye Dunaway, and anyway, it was a cool indie film that he had done, and so I knew him from that, and I thought he was such a good actor, and I'd done my research for Vampire Diaries, but he was actually, it was so great meeting Ian. He has all these projects that he does in Africa as well, and he was very familiar with Zimbabwe, so he was quite fascinated that I was from Zim. And it was, Nina Dobrev is just amazing. Paul Wesley is incredible too. But it was also terrifying, being on my first American show. I wanted to make a splash. I wanted to make an impression. I wanted to stay on the show, first of all, because they didn't guarantee me anything. And the first scene I had to do on the first day was a lecture. And so I had like a page and a half full of lines of just me speaking in an American accent, on international television for the first time on this massive show. I'm telling you, I felt sick for the whole those few days leading up to it. It was pretty nerve-wracking.
Wow! And where were you shooting? Is that where you were
in Atlanta? In Atlanta, yeah.
So, but you stay in.
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah. So they'd fly me out there every episode. Sometimes I'd stay on, but yeah, it was amazing to be able to jump into something so massive from nothing, really. It was a big life change for me. Yeah. But I still had other jobs, that I had to I still hadn't made it then, Okay. And then by the time I got the Flash, it was great. We just did the pilot, and we had to wait to see if it would be picked up, and we didn't know if we were going to be successful, if they were going to order any episodes, and then that suddenly blew up, which was incredible. And then by the time we got to the end of season 1, I died again. Yeah, okay. Spoiler alert.
You almost died.
But then I got Quantico, so
wow.
All these sort of what looks like this, these horrible disappointments have actually turned into blessings. Yeah.
Wow. So tell us about your other productions. The Litter Carrier, is it?
Yes, The Litter Carrier.
Your short film, which is
yes.
screening?
Yeah. So Jesse L. Martin, who plays Detective West on The Flash, and Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, we all actually teamed up and made a short film that Jesse wrote, and it's a musical set in 1860 in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. And it's a really cool, very interpretive film. It's 15 minutes long, and Jesse and I directed it together. He wrote all the music, and Carlos arranged the music as well, because he's a musical genius, that kid. And so, we've gotten to about 16 festivals so far around the world, and I screened it yesterday as well as part of the Zimbabwean International Film Festival. And I also acted in a film called Zimbabwe by Tatenda Mbudzi. And I play this, it's the first African teen movie, Zimbabwe, that's what it's called. It's fictional at school, but very much in the vein of Zimbabwean high schools and what goes on there. And I play a very mean senior, very similar to the seniors who used to bully me at school when I was a lightie.
Trauma, were you traumatized?
I was absolutely traumatized. I spent way too much money on therapy.
Why are they bullying you though? You seem so cool.
Oh no, I was not cool at school. I was not cool at school. I had really, really terrible skin. There was not one place on my skin that wasn't filled with pimples. I was awkward and skinny, and I wasn't good at sports. I was on a music scholarship. I mean, hello.
Okay, yeah. You're the cool kids.
Yeah, we were in the alternative crowd. We had trench coats, and we were into Korn and Marilyn Manson. Except my trench coat was actually a raincoat. Which I shouldn't admit now, but I was secretly listening to Alanis Morissette.
Okay. That's fine.
Sorry guys, but I was really into Manson.
Too late, you said it. So you're leading a workshop at the Zimbabwe Film Festival, Zimbabwe International Film Festival, amongst other things. What else are you doing?
Well, I've been here with ZTN. They brought me out here, and they're doing new content, local content.
Thank you, ZTN.
Yes, exactly. And I was part of a skit show yesterday, actually, which was amazing. And with these two incredible Zimbabwean actors, and Admire and Stuart, they were incredible. You can look them up on my Instagram, because I've forgotten their last names right now, at Rick Cosnett, and you can follow me on there. And see what I've been doing the last 3 days in Zim. But it's been really, really cool. I've had a very full schedule. Yesterday they screened Zim High as well, and I did my workshop. Everyone's been so enthusiastic. I'm just really excited about telling Zimbabwean stories and collaborating with them, and trying to help spark some kind of resurgence in the film and TV industry. Yeah.
So you also invested your talent in Tatenda Mbudzi's film, and you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
So what other plans do you have with like investing in the film industry in Zimbabwe?
Well, I'm hoping to do a feature film here in the next couple of years that I'm going to direct, hopefully with Jesse L. Martin as well, and use as much as people as I can, from some crew-wise, talent-wise, hiring equipment. Yeah, we really wanted to benefit Zimbabwe, so we wanted to be a story about reconciliation and humanity.
That's good. We're excited. Please don't forget us. I'd love to try out. You'll teach me
Okay.
one or two things. So what do you think Zimbabwe can do in terms of film so that we can produce quality productions and so that we can become competitive on the international market?
I think totally. I think practicing is one of the most important things you can do, because I think the problem at the moment might be that people don't get to practice their craft as often as they would like.
Exactly.
Because of somewhat lack of productions, although people are doing their own stuff here, and I urge people to start making their own stuff, start practicing every single day your craft, what you want to do. Just do it, because that's the best way that you can learn, and the best way that you will get better. As I was saying before, they say 10,000 hours it takes for you to master a craft in something. And then you can be a master, and you can show these other countries how it's done, and it really gives Zimbabweans a voice.
Wow. So tell us about the Actors Guild. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Guild? Yeah.
Exactly. And awards, and just tell us about all that.
You mean like the you mean the union?
Yes.
Yeah, like the Actors Union, like the Actors Guild.
Exactly.
They're the ones they have in the States.
Yes.
Well, they have very strong guilds in the States. They're very much about that. So they have the Screen Actors Guild, they have the Directors Guild, they have the Writers Guild. They've actually